What up, everybody? Welcome back to another video after sound here, where we do daily content on Splinterlands, and we also stream daily on Twitch at This Is After Sound, both Splinterlands and Fortnite content. So I wanted to quickly chat about collection power and getting the most bang for your buck when it comes to the airdrop, right? Because the airdrop, we still have 10 months, just a little bit under 10 months of this airdrop. And I feel like people are sleeping on this. Everybody's stacking SPS as they should be. But the thing is, the airdrop is going to give you SPS also. Now, you can get a decent amount of collection points, right? Or sorry, collection power, or sorry, I should actually say airdrop points from just holding DEC. But my issue with holding DEC, and I'm going to expand on this in another video as well, is the fact that right now it is 7x its peg, right? It is supposed to be 0.001, and today it had a little pump and we're over 0.007. We're actually above 0.007. So, you know, the founders have been maintaining that they expect this to go back down to the peg in the long run. I don't know if they're going to actively try to do something or if they just expect market forces to push it back down. But, you know, there's a risk there that in holding whatever assets you have, not whatever assets, but however much money you have in DEC, it could go down, to 1/7 the value of what it is right now in the long run. Now, I expect that to happen closer to the end of the airdrop, which again is 9 to 10 months away. But it's really difficult to tell. And if they extend the airdrop, if they do something else, and this is just rumors, speculation, I'm not saying that they will, then it could potentially hold its value. But once this airdrop is over, I feel like DEC will go back to being what it was meant to be, just an in-game currency pegged at a certain value that fluctuates slightly above and maybe below it. But the airdrop is what is totally inflating its value right now. So let's take a look at something here, because when I'm buying cards, one thing that I'm trying to do as well is maximize the collection power that I have, because that gives me more airdrop points, right? The higher CP I can get from something, the higher DEC value a card is, that gives me more airdrop points, right? So I'm taking some of the DEC that I win every single day or that I receive from my rentals and trying to flip them into income producing assets, right? Because both DEC and cards will get me money, or will get me airdrop SPS through the airdrop period. But after that, I don't know what's going to happen to DEC, whereas I feel as though the value of cards will either go up or stay the same. I mean, it might potentially go down, but what I'm loving about what I'm seeing so far is as these cards become more and more rare, the value goes up, and also you can rent them out or use them. So there's a tremendous amount of ways that you can utilize cards and collecting cards and accumulating in-game assets, which is what I view these cards as, right? Cards, land, and tokens, and all these other things, but or totems, I believe. But we're just focusing on cards right now because there's this massive downward shift on card prices, and it might still go down further. It might skyrocket, but I feel like we had this spike a couple of months ago, and now we're here at a point where in between Chaos Legion and a flood of new rewards cards coming through, the prices are coming down. So how do we maximize our CP when spending our dollars, right? So I'm looking at what is the highest collection power per dollar. Now, to give you an idea of airdrop points, right? What I want to show here, and let me actually pull up my handy dandy calculator. I actually had it there. So with DEC being 0.007, your $1 right now is getting you 0.007 is getting you 142. We'll just call it 143 airdrop points, right? If you were to buy one DEC today, it would get you 140, roughly 143 airdrop points. That's actually still pretty good, relatively speaking, right? When this thing was down at 0.001, each dollar was getting you 1,000 CP. So yeah, it made sense to buy up DEC as quickly as you could when it was still in its at its peg. Now, I want to show you guys something on Peak Monsters, because Peak Monsters I feel like is a very, very valuable tool. And if you just go to the buy section, One way, in addition to looking at rewards cards, as I mentioned in a previous video, one way I'm trying to maximize the dollars spent buying in-game assets is to see what is going to get me the most collection points, because each of those collection points will give me an airdrop point 1-to-1, right? So right now we know each dollar that you spend is going to get you 142. Each dollar that you spend on DEC is going to get you 142, probably a little bit less than that now. In terms of collection points, and that might fluctuate as the value of DEC goes up and down. But if I'm looking here wanting to buy in-game assets, there is a lovely filter here when you go to the buy tab, where you can filter down and go to best CP per cost ratio. And what you are seeing here is okay. What you're seeing here, if you look on the column to the right, is CP per cost, right? So now I'm seeing if I were to buy a Caladium, which, you know, this guy's going to be pretty hefty. I'm not about to spend $2,400 on him. But if I were to buy him, my $1 or each dollar that I spent in that would get me 81 CP per dollar, right? Which again is not the same value as if I were to buy DEC. But again, I want to caution people against stacking DEC in the long run. I feel like you should be well diversified. Here's the thing. I hold DEC as well, and I hold a decent amount of DEC. But I am very well aware of what is going to happen in the long term, or at least what the intended goal from the team is in the long term. So I'm just really trying to stress caution, because what I don't want is for people to FOMO in on DEC, and all of a sudden it goes down, you know, from 0.007 to 0.006 or 0.005, and people treat this as a you know, a different kind of a regular cryptocurrency rather than just an in-game currency as it's supposed to be. And they're like, oh, buy the dip at 0.005, 0.004, keep buying the dip. No, it's not supposed to be this high, right? It's actually supposed to be way, way lower. So I just don't want you FOMOing in with hundreds or thousands of dollars, whatever it is. And then a year from now, you're like, shoot, you know, the value of my DEC dropped 80% or 85%, whatever it is. So again, just throwing this out there as caution. I could be wrong. This game could absolutely skyrocket and DEC could hit a penny. DEC could hit 10 cents. Who knows, right? But I'm just reiterating what I've heard from the team and what I understand in this ecosystem as where this currency or where this token DEC is supposed to be in the long run. It is supposed to be pegged to 0.001. It is SPS that is hard capped and should be going up in value, right? Okay, so Caladium, probably not the best. I'm not going to best example, but you do get 81 CP. Just below that, Exploding Rats, one of the new rewards cards. If we see here, each US dollar gets us 81.3. That's not bad. And here, I can grab a level 2, which has a BCX of 5, which means there were 5 cards combined for it. I can grab that for $1.28. And for each dollar that I spend on that, I'm getting that roughly 81.3 CP per dollar, right? That's pretty good. It's pretty good. So you can go down this, you know, entire thing. And I refresh this consistently throughout the day, because I'm like, if there's something there that's going to offer, you know, I've seen as high as 90s. I've actually seen as high as 100 CP. To me, I would rather flip my DEC, or, you know, I even have some credits in game as well. I would rather be flipping that to long-term assets. Again, I hold DEC, and I will continue to hold it. But in the long run, if I'm making money from this game, right? If I'm earning DEC from the from my games and quests and everything that I'm doing, sometimes I just take a little bit of that, or even from rentals, right? Sometimes I take a little bit of that and I'm just like, how do I reinvest this further into the game rather than just holding a currency that I know is supposed to go down in value in the long run, right? So this is my strategy. This is kind of how I'm looking at things. Peak Monsters is a very valuable tool. I don't know why I'm saying tool weird. Tool. Peak Monsters is a very valuable tool, and you will need to request your keys and get your Hive keys for that. But I think it is very well worth it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just you got to make sure that you keep those things safe and away from you know, scammers, and never give them out. So let's just refresh this one more time. You know, I consistently see things in the upper 70s to 80s. I think, you know, like I said, for me, the strategy is long-term to keep accumulating assets in-game, whether that's to rent them out in the future or just to build my overall collection power in the long run. This is what I'm doing. This is the tool I'm using. I wanted to share it with you guys. And again, just caution the FOMOing in on DEC. Again, I could be wrong in the short term, but I am going to go with the I'm going to go with where the founders of the game believe DEC should be valued in the long term, right? And we know that the airdrop lasts only another 10 months. So that's where it's going to be. And we'll see how the market kind of reacts and plays itself out after Chaos Legion, after whatever ends up happening in Q1 and Q2 of next year within this game specifically, and within crypto overall. Because again, we also have to consider the fact that Bitcoin is going to go through another boom and bust cycle potentially. But that's a story for a different time and a different video. So I'll go ahead and wrap this one up here, guys. I hope you're enjoying the content. If you are, please leave a like and consider subscribing. It is a free and easy way to support the channel, and I am trying to grow this channel out by doing giveaways. So those who leave a comment, please make sure you leave your in-game username, and I'm going through and looking for the most thoughtful and engaging comments and ones that really provide value to the community that I'm trying to build here. So feel free to do that, and I will see you in the game. Have a good one.